Hi all, Karthik here from Design School by WP Algorithm. In this video, we'll discuss dynamic content plugins, really powerful Views widget. Well, Views widget is helpful in listing out basically any content on your website. By any content, I mean posts, pages, users, basically any data that you have on your site. You can format it, apply complex logic to it, and filter it and display it in the way you want. And that's really powerful. Now, this video is brought to you by the folks behind Dynamic Content plugin. If you don't have the plugin, you can get it from the link in the description. Let's see how the Views widget works, and I'll also give you few practical examples of the Views widget. So I'll start by creating a new page. It's a WordPress page, not an Elementor page, because I want users to access this page on the front end. So I'll just call it Views, and I'll just hit on edit with Elementor. Now that will take us to the Elementor interface where we'll have our dynamic content plugin as well. It's an add-on for Elementor. So in the Elementor interface, I'll search for the Views widget, which is this one by Dynamic Content plugin. I'll just click and drag it, and that will pull out all the things that it can list out. Now by default, when you drag it in, it will display a list of posts, but by posts I mean WordPress post type posts. Pages are a post type in WordPress, and you can create your custom post types in WordPress. There are a lot of custom post types. So by default, it will just list out posts. So here you can choose which kind of data you want to display. So first you can choose posts. You can display set of users. Of course, you can apply complex logic, which we'll discuss in a bit. And you can display terms such as categories, tags, and stuff like that. We'll just settle with post for now. And the skin, here you can choose the type of the skin in which the posts are displayed. So if you pick table, it will show you the table layout. If you pick list, it will just list out all the things. You can pick between ordered list or unordered list. So you can choose between the render mode, the grid, table, list, or slideshow. If you pick slideshow, well, it will be just a slider of where you can tweak it. I'll just settle with grid for now. You can tweak all the options, and if you want to change the design of individual item, so this is the section where you change it. By default, it's applying some dynamic token stuff, but if you want to design a template, you can do it. So you can pick a template. I'll design a template. It can be a page template or a section template. I'll just settle with page. I'll call it dynamic post loop latest or whatever you want. Just create a template. Now all the items within this template should be dynamic. So you have to use the widgets provided by the dynamic content plugin, so that when you choose the template here, it will take those items and apply the data of each and every post. You'll get to know that in a bit. So I'll create a section, and within this section, let's search for dynamic, or let's scroll down to the dynamic section. You can use all the dynamic widgets that you want. I'll just use the basic ones. So we just need the post title. So I'll drag in title. I'll align it onto the center, and we don't want to see the content because it will basically load unnecessary items. We'll also load the featured image in here, and we'll add a read more button so that user can click on each of the items. I'll also align this. Also, I'll change this to a thumbnail, and I'll align it onto the center. So we'll have title, we'll have featured image, and I'll click on this button, and the link should actually be the post URL. So we'll choose the dynamic token here, or you can use the dynamic content plugins tokens. I'll just click on this. Height, you can choose minimum height, so something of that sort. Let's add a little bit of background to it, maybe this white color background. I'll hit publish. Now that we've designed a template to be used in the loop, since we created this template, this page doesn't know that this template exists. I'll publish this page once and I'll reload it so that it'll get all the posts created or all the templates created. So I'll hit update. I'll just reload this Elementor page again or the views page again. And instead of this tokens, you can also choose simple fields. So it will basically list out all the fields and you can change the skin. Maybe now you can change it to a table. So something of that sort. You can also do that, but we're willing to add a post grid. So we'll use a template for it. And this is the template, which is dynamic post loop latest. So I'll search for that template and it's this one. I'll just choose this and it'll take this template and apply that design to all the posts within this list. I've also tweaked the featured image size to a 500 by 500 image so that it looks a bit better. Now I'll reload this or I'll choose the dynamic post loop again. I'll update and I'll reload it so that it will have all the latest changes made here. It might take a while before the design is actually rendered in your views widget, so don't worry about that. Just give it a minute and it'll take the design and apply it and reload. Now it reloaded with the template that we chose. So the template had title, featured image and the read more or click here button. Since some of my posts don't have the thumbnail, they're not being shown here. The posts that have are being shown. So the title, the featured image and the click here button. So each of the posts is rendered in this way. Now if you want more posts per grid, you can choose that or customize that in the skin. By default it has a 100% column width. So if you want maybe 3 posts, you can choose 33% column width and that will display 3 post grids on in the same row. That way it looks better. If you choose 50%, it will show 2 post loops in the same row. I chose 33%. We'll wait. Again, this rendering is a bit time consuming. I don't know why it takes a bit. And just like that, it renders with 33% width for each column, and within each column we have our post. Now all these posts really don't have featured image. These ones have. So you can see clearly how the grid is built based on what we specified. That's really neat. And here you can display the count of the items, how many posts are there. If you're willing to, I'll just hide it. So here you can choose the template and you can use the skin and the select tabs to choose and customize the design of your post loops. My post loop is looking pretty good. So I'll again in this from tab, you can choose what kind of posts you want. Since we picked the object posts here, you can choose what kind of posts you want. If you picked users, you can pick what kind of users you want. So I'll just click here and it will show me all the post types available on my website. So you can choose posts, pages, but I'll simply list out posts because pages won't have featured image. You can also list out media post type and you can see all the custom post types that I've created and some of my plugins have created. You can simply pick any and it will basically list out all the custom post types on your site. So in case you're wanting to have a grid that has all the posts or post types on your website, you can choose this any option, but I'll simply pick posts. If you want any other, just pick them like that and it will display those post types as well. I'll remove that for now. And you can choose what kind of posts you want. So if you want published posts, if you want drafts, if you want scheduled posts, pending, private posts, trash, even trash, you can list out trash. That's a bit, you know, that's really handy. You can ignore sticky posts. Sticky posts is a feature of WordPress, native WordPress. So you can ignore them in this. So that's an option added. You can choose the categories, the tags, formats, all that related to the posts or basically any post types that you want. So if you want posts from a particular category, you can simply search for that. If you want posts just from this category, I'll pick this. The same with the tags, the same with formats. So right, there are a lot of post formats, but we're happy with what we have here, so I'll settle with that. You can also ignore posts from their IDs, so you can exclude posts that you don't want. Now this is really important. So the filter where is really important. Group by is just a way to group all these posts together. By default they're just grid of posts and there's no real way to group them together. So we'll start with the filter criteria. So let's say I want to have posts written by the author or the person who's logged in. So I have to have a condition, right? So I should show only the posts to him which are actually written by him. Let's say you're building a front end dashboard and you want to show the posts written by him. So this is how you do it. You add a condition, and the condition is that the author of the post should be the same as the logged in user, right? So that's pretty straightforward. Now they have SQL operators here. You might be confused a bit, but I'll explain it in the easiest possible way. SQL is a way to read entries from your database. So it's a database level stuff. Don't be confused or worried about it. I'll explain it. So the first thing is that we have to choose the post author. So I'll type post into this meta field and I'll scroll down. So I find the post author. You can also use dynamic tokens if you want. I'll pick post author and the operator. So equals means if the post or author is equal to this value, whatever value you enter, you can enter any value. So I can simply say admin. So it will show all the posts written by admin. If you enter any other value, it will show all those posts written by them. I'll remove this. You can also have a combination of and or if you have multiple conditions or multiple filters. We'll just settle with one filter, which is to show posts which are written by whoever author is logged in. So equals is the operator. If you want a pattern, you should choose like. So if you have a condition and you want to verify a pattern, you can use like. Greater than, maybe if you're using a numerical value, you can use these relational operators. In basically sees if this condition or this value has a particular value from here. It might sound confusing, but it's quite simple. So we'll choose author. So the post author should be equal to, I'll choose dynamic tags. I'll scroll down, I'll click on token again. I'll use wizard mode. Now the post author should be equal to the user logged in. So I'll just choose user object from here, and within here I have to pick ID. Now why am I picking this? I'll explain that in a bit. So if I pick that condition, all the posts written by that author will be shown here. Don't worry about that. It takes a while, and all the posts written by the current author, whoever is logged in, are shown. Since I'm the author of all these posts, all of them are shown. If another user logs in, it will just show the posts written by him, because the condition that we have here is that the post author should be equal to the ID of the user logged in. Why am I using ID? Well, this is database level stuff, and all these operators are database operators. I'll explain that in a bit. So you have to choose the post table or the user table, and you have to see which value is mapping to the post author. So you can only compare values which are similar, right? Since post author, you have to understand which kind of data is post author, and you have to map it to the similar kind of data. Now, it might sound a bit confusing, so this is how it works. So this is a local site. If you have a live site, maybe you can open up your database, PHP MySQL myadmin. So it will give you the similar kind of graphical interface in which you can view your database. I'll click on posts, and you can see post author, it's this one, is an unsigned integer, right? It's an integer, big int, or it's called a big int. Now if you look at the users table, since we're comparing the post author to users, we have to look the data which is similar, and in this case the big int is the ID itself. So we're essentially comparing post author, which is a big int, to ID, which is also a big int, and that's what is being translated over here, and that's the reason why we're choosing post author from this field, and with an operator we're choosing equals, and the token we chose was id with an user table because of the database level stuff, right? You can see that the id is also a big int, and id is essentially the username, and post author is also a big int, and this also maps to the username, and that's the reason why you're comparing this in posts to this, sorry, this in users, and that's the reason. It might be a bit complicated, but since you're trying to achieve, or since you're trying to retrieve the posts written by the current user, whoever is logged in, this is required. So that's the reason why you choose post author, you choose the token, and it's showing all the tokens. Now I'll just create a new user. I'll click on users, I'll click on add new. Let's create a new user. I'll just call him KK, some random email, first name KK, last name KK. I'll click on choose password again. I'll make that KK for now. I'll confirm use, and I'll make him an author so that he can compose his posts, and when he views this views post or the views page that we created here, it will show the post written by him. So I'll just click on add new user. I'll click on never. I'll just log out of my website for now. Again, we'll be logged out from here as well. So I'll just log out, or I'll open up my Safari browser and I'll log in. So WP freedom, WP admin. So the new user is KK and the password is KK as well. I'll click on login. Now I'm logged in as the new user. Let's compose a couple of posts. I'll click on add new. Let's write a couple of posts in Gutenberg. So I'll say post 1, and here I'll just add, I'll click this maybe library, and I'll choose maybe this image. Let's also have a featured image for this. So I have to click on document, and I have featured image here. I'll click featured image, and I'll pick maybe this image. Let's hit featured image. I'll publish. Now since I'm logged in as KK and I published this post, now I'll go back to my dashboard. So I'll click on this WordPress icon. It takes me back to my dashboard. I'll simply duplicate this or clone this. I'll repeat the process so that we have sufficient number of posts. Click on clone. I'll click on apply. I think we'll have 8 posts by now. This is more than enough. Now this is the new user created. Since this page essentially has all the posts written by the current author, you can see that the post that we have written, that we have just composed by the current author, we are logged in as KK, and it only shows the posts which are written by KK, which is this current user. That's how it works. So that's the logic that we specified. So you can have a complex operator like this, or you can simply say post author equals, you can type in your author, whoever you want to filter. So let's say if you want from KK, you can simply remove this and type KK in here, and if that value matches, those posts will be shown. And if you want to have multiple conditions, you can do that. This is just a way to search all the posts which are filtered already, and you can also group them by whichever field you want. So let's say I just want to group all of them by date, by post date. You can simply click that, and all of them will be grouped in using that. You can show heading, and you can also make it an accordion, so only the dates of the posts published are shown. The render usually takes a bit. Let it render and you can clearly see the thing in action. You can also order the way in which you want, so you can specify an order in which you want to have these posts, or basically any data. You can also limit the number of posts. I'll use pagination. I think 10 results per page is great. You can also customize each and every bit of it. We'll update this. Now I'll reload the page so that everything is clearly reloaded and you can see it. Or we can actually go to WP Freedom /views, which is the page that we created, and we can clearly see the results in action. So once the page reloads or loads, you can see each of the post is put into its date, and we've specified that. So the options that we chose were to group them by post date. You also chose to show the heading, and we also had a limit. We showed pagination, and if you visit the page, you'll only see 10 posts per this page, and the rest of them are pushed to the next page. You can click this page. You can also tweak this page pagination and stuff like that. So this is the views widget, and the main thing which are important in the views widget is this. So you choose the type of post that you want to display, or if you pick users, you'll choose the type of users or the kind of users you want to display, and status you can choose from here. And the filter criteria is really important. So by if you don't specify any criteria, it will essentially get all the posts. If you specify the criteria, it will only get those posts that you specified within this condition. You can also have a combination of conditions. So if you can have multiple conditions, such as post author must be the same as the current logged in user, and he should be an admin or he should be an editor, so something of that sort. So you can have multiple conditions and only those posts will be shown. You can have a search bar by using this where field. You can group all the posts using any meta field you want. You can group them by author. Of course, it's not logical to group them by author since we're getting the posts from the same author. Maybe you can group them by category if they have a category. If they have tags, if they have custom taxonomies, you can group them by that. Also choose accordion. That's the reason why you see this kind of view. You can specify the properties of the accordion. You can also specify the order in which the sorting should occur. So all these posts in whichever way you want. You can also limit the number of posts per page, right? You can also specify an offset, and basically there are a ton of options. But this is how you use the views widget. It will let you define complex logic and display basically any content on your website. So you can display posts, pages, custom post types. You can display a list of users using complex conditional logic, and it might get a bit confusing, but if you understand what you're doing, it's really powerful, and it can help you build complex conditional WordPress post grids or WordPress grids, user data and stuff like that. This is the views widget in a nutshell. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think, and if you guys had any problems understanding this, let me know in the comments, and I think I made it pretty clear. I'll catch you in the next one. Stay tuned for more dynamic content plugin videos. See you in the next one. Peace.